Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So I'm about to do a quick, well, I never do anything quick. Let's be honest. For real. I'm about to do a little conversation between the self and the soul. When I asked what this conversation was going to be about, what I heard is major progress brings you mind-blowing abundance. It is your time. It's your time. So time for what? We're going to find out though. We're going to find out. We're going to see what you need to do to get what it is that you're trying to get. And then, all of that, all of that, all of that. Okay. I want to do these cards first. Okay, let's see. Okay. Okay. Oh. Okay, so you're going through this transformation, and the transformation is what's bringing you further down your sacred journey. It's taking you further down that path. And in order for you to continue down that path in a way that is the most supportive of growth, healing, and abundance, you're going to have to find that balance. There's this balance that you've been seeking for quite some time. And I'm not sure, I kind of get the sense that you've been looking for this outside of yourself. It's not going to be found outside of you. Let's just really be clear with ourselves. You're not going to find what you need and what you're seeking outside of yourself. I know for some, it's this thing of you think, well, you've become impatient. Okay. You've become very, very impatient with your process. And whatever your process is, you're kind of just like, I've been here long enough. And I get it. I get it, because I've kind of been feeling that way as well. This sense of you're ready for the next part, and you don't know why your soul won't allow the next part to kind of be tangible, something you can hold on to at this point, something you can actually feel. You're like, it's not fair. Why? Well, soul doesn't. Okay. Hold on. I'm going to go ahead and drink some water, because we're not going to start scolding you this early in the video. We're just not going to start scolding people this early in the video. We're going to try and remain in a space of kindness and patience. So what I wanted to say in a much more aggravated tone is that your soul doesn't have to explain anything to you. You don't have to understand what's happening. The only thing that is left for you is to decide, are you going to be on board, or are you going to fight this? That's the extent of your power over this process. No matter what this process is going to take place, and as this process, hold up. Oh, okay. No matter what, this process is going to take place. And really, the only things that you need to decide is if you're going to fight yourself, or if you're going to get on board and start participating in ways that will make this a lot easier for you. I mean, aren't you tired of fighting yourself? It hurts to fight yourself, because regardless of whether you win or not, you still lose. So Emmy is fighting Emmy. Emmy wins, Emmy loses. So then it becomes a thing of, we don't want to take a look and acknowledge at the ways in which we're making this process a lot harder for ourselves. So if you are making it harder for yourself and you don't want to see it, what do people tend to do? We tend to externalize. We tend to convince ourselves that we're waiting for something outside of us, something external from us. And what's the main culprit? This whole concept of twins. The concept of twins and communication with your twin. So here's the thing. This person is a whole person. You are a whole person. Neither of you actually need the other to be whole. You came into this life whole. We have to kind of allow ourselves to receive the actuality of what a twin relationship is. So there's different types of twins when it comes to spirituality and whatnot. There's a concept of the twin flame, and then, of course, the twin ray and a couple other twin thingies. But those are the two primary concepts. You have multiple twin rays. No, twin flames. You have multiple twin flames. You only have one twin ray. Do you like yourself? Genuine question. Do you like yourself enough to be able to say that you actually love yourself? Do you love yourself to the degree that you have no problem being alone with yourself? Do you think you're hilarious, that you're like ridiculously intelligent? Do you like your aesthetic? Are you just like your biggest fan? Because most people are going to say no. Most people are going to be like, I don't know. I don't even like the sound of my voice. That's so common. It's so weird when, like, if I'm sharing space with someone from my team and they're in the middle of editing clips from these longer live stream videos, they'll edit clips, and then I'll hear my voice. I'm like, who are you listening to? And it's me. That's how it used to be. And now, as I go through more of this process of finding deeper pockets of love for myself, like sometimes my husband will be scrolling through social media and he'll come across one of my videos and I'll hear my voice, and instantly I'm like, my head is cocked to the side, like, who is that? So that's how I know I'm starting to really begin to love myself to the degree that I deserve. And if I'm getting to that point where I can love myself, just the sound of my voice is not grating on my nerves, then that tells me that maybe I am ready for a conversation with some type of twin. Doesn't mean some type of sexual interaction or romantic relationship. That's a draconian teaching. That's not even a teaching, honestly, it's a program. They released that information and skewed it so that you would forever be locked in a narcissist empath relationship. The concept of the runner, the twin flame runner. One of them runs and the other has to just be patient and allow you to treat them however the heck you please. And they'll take it and they'll wait and they'll wait and they'll wait because that's what twins do. That is not what twins do. Do you want to know the reality of what twins are? I'll tell you. If you want to know, I'll tell you. It's far removed from what you think. But do you want to know? The reality of twins is that they're weaponized polar souls. They've been polarized in order to create a space between them. And they are actually spiritual weaponry. Twin flames are spiritual weaponry. They're allowed to incarnate at certain amounts of concentration, meaning X number of pairs of twins are allowed to exist simultaneously in a singular matrix when it's time to begin converting that matrix back to its original design. That's why twins are incarnating. It's never been for some sort of sexual escapade. It was never meant to be some type of romantic something. The twins that are in romantic union are the ones, you guys are going to get irritated by this, but it's the reality. They're the ones who don't learn on their own. They're the ones that are very, very stubborn and they don't want to listen to their soul. So what happens? They get paired together and they will consistently trigger each other day in and day out, varying degrees of intensity of triggering so that they can learn. It's like chipping away, chipping away, chipping away. Those are very challenging relationships to be in. Very, very challenging relationships, but the rewards are phenomenal. The type of self-healing and growth that you can experience if both choose to be in union. Most twins, meaning something like 98, 99% of twin pairs are not destined to be in romantic union. You were told a story. It was in order to sell you a lie that would keep you bound to the most unhealthy, toxic relationships you will probably ever find. About 98% of the people who are claiming they are with their twin or they were in a relationship with their twin, not that was a narcissist empath relationship. It was intended to drain you of your life force and create so much miasmic distortion within your auric field that you will spend many, many, many years trying to unpack that and understand how you fell for it. Don't fall for it anymore. Why would you search for a twin to be in a relationship with if you can't stand yourself? Because the twin is a mirror of not just the greatest, but also, more importantly, the ugliest parts of you that you can't stand. Sometimes a twin is just meant to cross your path in order to trigger you to some degree. And then you're supposed to go ahead and take off with that. Go ahead and learn from that. It's a lot of convoluted lies, half truths that are spread in the most common spiritual concepts. These are things that are intended to get you caught up in ego traps, spiritual bypassing, over identification, and all sorts of very unethical things that you will not realize you've been participating in for years on end until you hit rock bottom. It's a very difficult path that those who have a very high calling are destined to walk. Why? Well, because you need to learn very advanced things in a very short period. And so all these complex things that happen in life, it will teach you that. You will learn that based on what you choose to focus on and how you choose to experience these very challenging circumstances. Your life is not trying to destroy you. Your life is trying to shake free the concepts, the viewpoints, the programs that were always designed to keep you ensnared and enmeshed in something that was never worthy of you. So something major is happening, some type of shifting, some type of realization, some type of life reorganization that might be hard to understand what it is. Maybe you don't need to understand, at least right now. Maybe what you need is to be fully present and fully experiencing the things that your soul is asking you to experience. So follow your own rhythm, have a big, bold vision, and collaborative dreaming. This is about turning away from what you know. And a lot of people often ask, like, why would I choose to turn away from what I know? Why do I need to be taken out of my comfort zone? Well, comfort breeds stagnation. I once was live streaming and this person got so angry with me. And they were like, I don't know why you're trying to convince me and everyone else that we have to suffer. We don't have to suffer. We can have an easy life. Yes, you can have an easy life. Absolutely. But will you learn? Will you learn? Is that what you want? Easy? When you go for the easy, there's a price that's paid, and that's the cost of your learning. That's the price of your ascension, your rise, your return back to a level of dimensional awareness that gives you an expanded view of what your life is actually trying to show you. I don't know about you guys, but there's nothing that is worth giving that up for me personally. There's nothing that's worth giving that up. It's profound. You're probably going to cry your tears, you know. I mean, just because it's the most powerful way for you to learn doesn't mean you're not going to be mad. It doesn't mean that you're not going to feel some type of way. You're allowed to feel whatever way you are. You know, for those of you who are unfamiliar with me, as part of my history, my soul went ahead and decided I needed to be transient for a few years. I needed to be homeless for a few years. Yeah. Now, if I decided to view my life in that period the way the typical person would, I would be very angry about it. I would be very hurt. I would be very afraid. Instead, I chose to be very present, knowing that this is not a permanent circumstance, knowing that this is a way for me to learn whatever it is that I needed to learn in order to reach the next part. I didn't know what the next part was. There was no um there was no guidance, no reassurance, no nothing. It was just you're either going to be on board or you're going to fight this. So I decided to be on board, and that period of homelessness with me and my family is quite possibly the most beautiful period in the history of my family. It was so peaceful. We lived in a parking lot, but it was so peaceful. Even if I had the opportunity to go back and fine tune some of the events of my life where I would have the opportunity to choose whether I experience this or that again, I would never change what I experienced during that period. I would never change it, ever. That's how I found myself. It was in that period that I was able to let go of the caricature that I played, and that caricature was based on other people's expectations of who they wanted and needed and demanded me to be. As you know, for a large portion of my life, I was not allowed to be the person that you see sitting before you, sharing the thoughts that I share with you. That was not allowed. That would make people feel uncomfortable. It would make people feel triggered. I would piss people off, so I wouldn't be allowed to speak in that way. As a matter of fact, I played that role so intensely. I was so wrapped up in that misidentification of self that when my husband's relatives came to visit us earlier in 2025, we hadn't seen them for about 10 years. Mind you, my husband and I have been together for like 27 years at this point, right? Um, we were talking about something that kind of pertains to my specialty in my work. And I was talking about cardiogenic shock and the role of the electrodes that shock your heart when you're having a cardiac event. I was talking about that because a family member had experienced that. I was talking about how the traumas that you store inside your body is instantly released because of that huge charge that goes through your fascia. And then it pings all the trauma, which then follows it back to the root, to the source, which is your pericardium, which then hardens. Because fascia is neither solid nor liquid. It depends on what it needs to be in that moment. And my husband's auntie was like, I've never heard you talk like this before. I didn't think anyone wanted to hear it. In the 27 years my husband and I have been together, his relatives, who I've met many times, have never heard me speak that way. And his auntie was even talking about, my God, I didn't realize you were so intelligent. I mean, why would I speak that way if you're not engaging me in the appropriate type of conversation? I wouldn't, because my programming tells me I'm not allowed. And it was in that moment where I chose to be fully present through a period of homelessness that I allowed the reality of me to surface. Turns out the world can handle it. You guys can handle my actual personality. And no, I was not being fake for those years that I was already publicly visible. I was just being very controlled and very intentional about what I would allow and not allow you to see about me. I mean, how much are you robbing yourself by continuing to follow the rhythm that someone else has set for you? Someone who's never understood you. The major thing that's happening right now is you coming into your own, letting go of the identity that you used to believe was yours. But again, in reality, it was just a conglomeration of other people's expectations. It was a character that was being played based on components of you that are true, that are real, but are not an accurate representation of you as a totality. So that's the big, bold vision. You just being who you are and allowing that to be witnessed by people. If you want people to tell you whether they have the capacity to love you or not, let them see the reality of you. I'm very comfortable being calm in this way and being very verbally aggressive, passionate in my communication, and just telling people when they need to fuck off. Because some people do. They need to just fuck off. How do I know I'm worthy of love? Because it's been years already. Years of me just being me. And people still loving me, knowing that. Now is a time for you to allow your environment to let you know if you're in the right environment. This collaborative dreaming card tells me that you might be in a space of closing your eyes and turning your back to the reality, to the truth of what it is you need to do right now. It's a big feeling that I get where you're afraid because there's nothing assured, there's no guarantees, there's no neon signs telling you which way to go. There were no neon signs telling me which way to go either. None. Outside of the whisper of a hint of a message from soul. Those were the communications that I held on to and I used as a roadmap to find my way back to myself. Something interesting happened when I began to be fully present in what it is my soul was asking me to do. The more present I became, in my totality, of course, the more present I was in the totality of my existence, the more the pathways for abundance dilated. They opened up. And it became less of a thing of, oh, I need to make money to be able to exist in this world, and more of a thing of, I need to just show up and do the things that my soul is telling me to do. And oh my gosh, wow, hey, I actually needed that amount of money that just went through my payment processor, because I failed to realize that every point of my life, even before I became my most authentic self, to be witnessed by anyone who chose to witness it, um, my life has always provided everything I need right when I need it. I've never been without, ever. I'm not talking about being rich. I'm talking about the realization, the awareness, and the knowing that if there is a need, it is provided for in perfect time and measure. There was someone who was doing really malignant things, like very, very, very malignant things, and it needed to be stopped. And at the time, I was just still very, very uncomfortable about tapping into abilities that I've had through many, many lifetimes. Yeah. I'm a Catholic sorceress. Do you know what a sorceress is? A sorcerer or a sorceress? You see, people's definition of it is kind of skewed and it's not very accurate. People think that sorcerer or sorceress are people who are wicked. No, that's not true. Wickedness is a human construct. It's based on the person's intent. Do you want to harm? That's wicked. You could use religion to harm. You could use Catholicism to harm. You could use Christianity to harm. Harm is a human construct. It's rooted in the person's intention, not in the practice. So what's a sorceress? Someone who's born with the ability. It's on already when you're born. You don't have to work to turn it on. It's on. What you have to spend your life doing is learning how to responsibly wield such powerful gifts so that you never operate outside of the realm of ethics, morals, integrity, and goodness for all involved. So yeah, I'm a sorceress. That would be the most accurate description. So what does that mean? That means I always have had and always will have the capacity for instant manifestation. Many of you are sorcerers and sorceress. You just don't know it. You pass it off as coincidence. And typically, what you allow yourself to manifest are the worst case scenarios where you want something good to happen, but the opposite happens right at the very end. You're right there from the finish line rather than crossing that finish line and receiving what you've worked for, what you've used so much of your energy to manifest for yourself. Instead, you go and punish yourself. You manifest the worst case scenario. I used to do that all the time. I don't ask for much from soul. I just don't. I would prefer to work for things because that's my character. That's part of my personality, the reality of who I am. Anything I have, I want to work for it. I don't want it to be given to me. I want to earn it. I want to be worthy of it because everything comes so easily to me. I want to earn what it is that has always been rightfully mine to begin with. And now, as I'm healing this very distorted perception of self, I'm realizing I've always chosen suffering. That was always optional. The suffering, that was never required of me. It's pain that's often a requirement because pain is the greatest teacher you will ever have. So suffering has always been optional. And as I'm no longer willing to suffer, I'm opening up the potentiality for things that I know and have been shown my entire life is an intrinsic part of my destined path, my destined existence. Do I fight that? Or do I allow it to come when I am ready based on my level of maturity? You will continue to learn and grow and mature your entire life, emotionally and intellectually. The moment you stop growing, you've ceased to exist. You have ceased to be a sovereign, and you no longer need to be here. Your last breath is the moment you stop learning. So then what is it? What does your soul want you to know? That is trying to make something happen for you. It's trying to make something happen. My soul has been giving me sign after sign after sign after. I'm so sick of the signs, soul. And soul tells me, well, if you're so sick of the signs, then start finishing the laundry list of things you need to finish, baby boo. And so I have. I've been doing what I've needed to do while I pause and reflect on what it is I'm creating space for. I no longer want to punish myself. I no longer need to control and know and be reassured. Any of those things. Beyond the mind, the heart beats. There's a rhythm to your growth. There's a rhythm to what your soul presents you. You never receive things before you are ready. And things are never withheld from you when the appropriate time has already arrived. It's you that's doing these things. Okay. Multiple times already. I've done this. I've interfered with my own process. And I've shown this to the people who have been part of my community for some time now. So part of the thing that I know is part of my destined path, and I'm really not tripping off of it. I'm not eager for it to happen. I'm kind of just like, listen, let me learn and grow until I'm ready, until I reach a level of maturity where I can handle it responsibly. So I've known that as part of my soul's plan, many, many people are destined to know me. That my name will be spoken in rooms filled with powerful people that I know nothing about. That I will be used as the standard, the benchmark for goodness. That it is within my destined path for millions upon millions to very proudly announce to the world they are a part of my community, that they resonate with me. My soul tries to show me things in advance at times. It's scary because there's no guarantee and I don't ever want to lose myself. But here's the thing. The more you fight your path, the more you get confused as to who you actually are. Yeah, that's what I'm learning. You get confused because you use other people as some type of benchmark for yourself. I've seen people who have considerable followings, hundreds of thousands of people, and they lose themselves. And I was afraid that I would lose myself. That's a lie. You know how I know? My ass is fucking stubborn. I'd never want to be a follower. That's just not me. That's part of the reason why a lot of these queen bee type females, they get a whiff of me and they immediately make it their life goal to fucking destroy me. Why? Because they know I'm fucking powerful. I will never cave to their bullshit. They can never use me. I will just continue in my own lane, living my own life, and it threatens them for some reason. I don't need to understand why. I just need to be aware of the processes that I'm allowing myself to get sucked into. Because not everything needs a reaction from you. Sometimes those parasitic people, those who are commanded by legions that live inside their head, They are crossed upon your path to distract you from what it is you need to do. I wrote something down the other day because sometimes I have these conversations with Michael where sometimes I listen to him, oftentimes I don't, and I have my own little conversation within myself. Every time darkness tries to hurt you or those you love, push even harder for the things that pain and struggle was intended to halt. So whenever someone tries to shut me up, I get a little louder. Whenever someone tries to shame me about who I am, I become a little bit prouder of who that is in that moment, knowing I will continue to change and shift and grow. Every time, and this is more often than not, every time someone is jealous and starts to attack me and create a narrative based on my financial success or their perception of it, whatever is intended to make me feel ashamed, because remember, I like to earn things. I like to work for what I have. That just makes me a little bit prouder of what I've been able to accomplish. And it creates just that much more space to allow more of that financial success to kind of filter into my life. Because here's the reality. I know for many of you, the talk of financial abundance, the talk of riches beyond your wildest dreams, it feels wicked because money is the root of evil. No, your heart is. Your distorted perception of your life and your entitlement to things that were never destined for you is the root of evil. It was never money. Money is the means to an end. I'm starting to get a better relationship with money. Money, at one point in my life, as I began to be very uncomfortably aware of the role money will play in my journey, I used to be afraid. Whenever it would start coming in larger and larger quantities, it would scare me. Why? Because I would begin to wonder if money was going to change me, if I would become wicked and evil and greedy. And here's the reality. I was never any of those things from childhood till now. It's too late for me to fucking change. I'm who I am. I'm a formed person. You are formed in who you are by the time you are 5 years old. There are psychological studies that have been done that have come to the same conclusions. Your character and your personality, the way you see the world and function in it, the way you cope, those are pretty much solidified from the time you are 5 years old. Mm-hmm. And everything you go through cements those parts of you that are affected by that experience. I will always be a giving person. Money is not the thing that corrupts you. People get corrupted because money makes it much easier for you to be who you actually are. So then what does that mean? I think it means that you need to come to terms with who you are and how you are. Conscious effort can change you. When you choose to be a different person and you're no longer wanting to be the drama, you're no longer wanting to continue to exist within that space of toxicity where, you start shit and then, oh, you're the victim. And there's people that exist that are like that. When you seriously, very, very seriously choose to no longer do that, you can change yourself. You can. You can. Here is a litmus test for me. The person that I was in 2018, 2019, very, very giving, very, very loving, just want to help people, right? I'd been through tremendous hurt and pain, betrayal, disappointment, all that stuff, and I was still trucking along, being that way and trucking along. And then in 2019, in the middle of the year, something happened. It was catastrophic for me. This was the axis point, the nexus point. This was the point in my journey where I could choose to be a different expression of myself. I could choose to be wicked, hateful, just nasty. I could choose to be so angry that I never help another person again. What happened in 2019? Cry if you must, girlfriend. This is an important message. Cry if you must. My mother died in 2019. I didn't have the right and the opportunity to become a different version of myself simply because she died. The circumstance surrounding the day she left is the reason I could have chosen to be something else. Two weeks before she died, I had a plane ticket bought already. I was supposed to arrive that morning. I could have been there with her the entire day. But she asked me to cancel that flight and to visit later, a week or two later. My sibling informed me at 7 in the morning that she had a cardiac event. I still could have bought a ticket that morning and be there in time. I could have FaceTimed her. The way that day played out, is the way that it needed to. She died while I was on a dark road in the middle of nowhere. Texting one of my bestest friends. She made sure to text before she left. My phone sent out a text message that I did not type, and it simply read, "I go now," because I could feel her detaching from her body. And a few minutes later, my phone rang, and it was the hospital. And they said, "I'm sorry, but your mother didn't survive. She had a cardiac event." And as much as the inner child in me wants to say it wasn't fair, what happened wasn't fair that day, everything happened the way it had to. In the way that is the most compassionate for me in my heart. It gave me the opportunity to choose. Do I want to be angry? Because that was not fair. I am a fucking precog. Do you understand what that means? That if I choose, I can see future events. I'm a precog. It was only June. The strings and the paths gave me till September. It was too early. And it's taken me quite a few years to accept what I already know. She chose to leave a few months early to protect me from myself. I could not be there. I could not see her because she would choose to stay and suffer. And I would blame myself. So she left without me by her side. And that was the most compassionate thing she could ever do for me. I accept that. And because I accept that, I'm able to see the way even the most painful parts of my life have been the greatest blessings in my development. I chose to still be myself. I chose to accept that I went through something ridiculously painful, and just because I hurt in that way, it doesn't change the fact of why I'm here. I'm here to help you remember how to love, how to accept, and how to be centered in a peace so profound that when the water ripples, your presence makes it a still mirror with no effort. I'm here as a testament to what happens when you simply come to a space of peace and communion between the self and the soul. That's it. That's it. And all these different gifts and abilities that I was born having, the memories that were left on, that's simply to facilitate what it is I'm here to do. I'm not here to save anything or anyone. I'm here to serve as a template that you can choose to witness. And what are you witnessing? That you have the power to remain in peace no matter what happens to the world around you. That no one has ever actually had authority over you except yourself. And that now it's time for you to retrieve all these things that your soul wants you to have, whether they be opportunities, whether they be connections, whether it be financial abundance, social abundance, abundance of peace. It doesn't matter. It's yours. It's for you. So allow it to come home. Allow it to rejoin you. These conscious connections, there are people who are trying to connect with you. They're making a conscious effort. The community is growing. That's good. People with like minds, like hearts, just wanting peace for everyone. No hierarchy. There's no need for any of that. None. Especially in spiritual places. These people who present themselves to you as though they are your guru, they are your teacher, they are your protector. And if you listen to them and them alone, they will protect you from everything. They will prevent everything. You know what they're doing? Protecting you. You know what they're doing? You want me to tell you? They're stealing your potential like a thief in the night. These things they say they're protecting you from because they love you. They're robbing you of your opportunity to learn and grow. I am not your teacher. I am not your guru. I'm nothing but an equal to you. Saving space beside me so we can walk arm in arm further down our path, learning and growing side by side, climbing up that mountain And the more of us that climb up that mountain and end up at the top, the more of us at the top to help those at the bottom find their way up. I'm not interested in being any type of leader. And I already know what humans do to messiahs. I'm good. No, thank you. This one fights back. You will not crucify me. I will take the hammer out of your hand and consider my options. So, Sacred Fool, for many of us, it's like we're playing the Sacred Fool. We feel like we're, kind of just the butt of a joke at this point because like we try so hard and we fall back down and we try so hard and we fall back down. And you could see it in that way where like every time you stand up and you're carrying this heavy load, right? You have it on your shoulders, it's heavy load, it's so heavy. And then someone comes along and just shoves you down and just you have to just stand back up. What I'm describing is a squat. Are you being punished? Or are you in the process of cultivating strength so profound that after a while, that heavy weight feels normal to you? You're doing nothing but squats. You're not being punished. You're not being made a fool of. That's your ego speaking, and your ego doesn't know what's happening. Your ego is designed to be able to create opportunities to see circumstance and experiences juxtaposed with something else, something explained and clarified by soul. So you're needing to allow the shift, and the shift needs to be done with context of what's happening. What's happening? A revolution in the way you discern and the ways in which you will no longer allow yourself to be reactive. So what does that mean? You're reaching a higher space of power over yourself and your journey. We are, I think, a little bit more than halfway through this retrograde season. Quite a few things decided to go into retrograde. Don't ask me what, because I'm so astro illiterate. It's just, I don't know. I don't know. Something went backwards and it's affecting a lot of other things. And then Mercury is acting stupid. So, and that's that. That's all I need to know. There's stuff that happened and then other things will happen and like don't lose your mind over it. There's things that are trying to get you to enter into a space of a negative hive mind. Have you guys noticed you've been feeling a little bit more triggered today? Like things are irritating you more and you're kind of just like, okay, no, I need to chill. What's going on with me? Like it's not that serious. I need to just chill out because they're trying you. Why? You have to always ask yourself why. Why are they, quote unquote, they trying you? Well, what I've learned from my life, and this is probably why I experienced so much fuck shit through my whole life. Jesus Christ. Like, okay. The experiences that I've had have really helped me to cultivate an understanding of the actual mechanics of ascension. So what ends up happening is you get triggered, and that triggering causes you to begin surging tremendous amounts of energy. And as you surge tremendous amounts of energy, almost like the equivalent of an adrenaline rush, but using frequency. So you're having an energy-based adrenaline rush. So it's going through your auric field, all your structures. It's going and translating into your physical body. And what ends up happening is if you haven't done what needs to be done in order for your system to begin to be able to handle that type of energy, you'll begin to experience physiological symptoms. fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue. You'll experience just odd little things that make you go, what is going on with me? In addition to the physiological symptoms, you'll experience emotional symptoms, emotional upheaval. In addition to those type of things, you'll experience something that most people experience. And what is that? A dark night of the soul. That's when your whole life kind of goes to shit. It's not funny, but you got to just laugh about it. Like, hot damn, all of that. Yeah. So what happens? Well, most people will experience a sense of being completely just isolated, either by choice or it seems like everyone's kind of just forgotten that you exist. There was not necessarily any drama, but it's like no one invites you anywhere anymore. No one calls you. You can't relate to anyone, that type of thing. And then what happens? Well, all of your attention goes to you because now you have no people projects to just distract you. For the people who get isolated during this portion of your ascension, it's because you create people projects. You use people and their actual problems as a viable excuse to not work on your own issues. So then your soul will do what? It will isolate you. It's not for punishment, it's so you can remain focused. And then what happens? Well, you go through all these different things that make you feel some type of way. And then you start to question and things start to get worse. And then you kind of get to the point where you're near the end of it. And you'll know you're near the end of it because it's like you've kind of been conditioned to just accept that this kind of bullshit drama happens. And it's like, whatever. Doesn't really make you cry anymore. It's just like it's so inconvenient. It's so fucking irritating, but whatever. It is what it is, right? You get that attitude about it. And as you get that attitude about it, then more really fucked up stuff tries to pop in. And you know what that is? That last little bit of extra caca that's trying to get you to be like, oh my God, those are the demons that are trying to stop you from leveling up. Because guess what, baby boo, you're right there. You're right there. And once you cross that line, you enter into a different harmonic band of frequency. So for most, it usually is a point of entering into a higher degree of harmonic universe. Do you know what happens when you enter into a higher harmonic universe? There's a magnetic repulsion zone between harmonic universes. It keeps your identity stations separate. It gives you the sense of an individuated existence, individuality, right? And then as you pull that down, you become the high priestess of earth and you no longer feel trapped because now you understand this whole thing that I've been trying to navigate and have been sucking at, have been struggling through, crying myself to sleep over. And like now I'm feeling like, oh shit, I'm almost destroyed. All my money's gone. All the potential is gone. Like, holy fucking shit. My life is a mess. No, it's not. It's not. Chaos is creation. Chaos is the cosmos. And birth is always messy. Always. People must have some type of skewed perception that when you give birth, you're kind of like hee, hoo, and then push, and then the baby slides out and the baby looks super adorable. The reality of birth, you can have your forewaters burst, and that's like waterfall between your legs. You can't stop it. It's messy and it stinks. You never get that smell out of whatever it gets on. That's amniotic fluid. Or you go ahead and you get a tear in the amniotic sac that allows the hind fluids to slowly leak out. The baby's head is blocking it. So it's little gush, just little. It's more manageable, but you still can't stop it. And it still smells kind of funky. Not like infection funky, but just funky. And then what happens? Well, then you experience more pain and more pain and more pain until you get to the point, and I've given birth many, many times, completely unmedicated. That's why I know what natural birth, unmedicated natural birth feels like. It's not superior to other birth stories, but this is what I know. You go and experience more and more and more and more pain until you get to the point where you can't take it anymore. And there's a part of you that feels like, I can't do this. But then there's this other part of you that's like, I've had enough. I'm pushing, I'm fighting back. And then as you push, all this other stuff comes out too. It's kind of gross. When you're using the right muscles, it's actually the same muscles that you use for a bowel movement. So it's not uncommon. So that's another yucky thing. You can't control what happens. You can't. So then what do? The only option that you have is to flow with what's happening. And what's happening? Push. Push in that same rhythm that your body is encouraging you to push. And then before you know it, you experience the most tremendous pain that you don't think you can survive. And that's the pain where the head comes out. And then there's kind of this relief, followed by another wave of pain. And then the shoulders are past, and the whole baby slides out right after that. And it's a goddamn mess down there. And then if you're lucky and the place you're giving birth at prioritizes the mother and child, they immediately put the baby on your chest, and this baby is covered with some funky ass blue cheese looking, what the fuck? And depending on how long that baby has been in that birth canal, their head might be misshapen. Their head might look like a cone. And you're like, where's my perfect baby with the extra soft skin? Like, what the fuck is this cheese looking stuff? Like, who smeared rotting cottage cheese and cream cheese on my newborn? Why are their lips all purple? Yikes. That doesn't take the beauty from what you've just done. You can't go back. The moment you rebirth yourself, you can't go back. When the consciousness gets stretched to the point of no return, you cannot undo the level of awareness that you have already paid the price to earn. And that's what this is. You are birthing the reality of you. You have to focus. This next card is focus, fragment in reverse, and awakening in reverse. Okay, something wants you to feel fragmented, as though you need something outside of you in order for this abundance to come in, but you're unaware of what's really happening. What's really happening? Something is trying to contain you, trying to discourage you. You can't be contained, though. You just can't. You won't. So what needs to happen? Keep going. Just keep going. What direction? I don't know. Pick one. Just pick one. Yeah, it has a smell to it. I don't know how to describe the smell, but amniotic fluid is the baby's pee, basically. Yeah. While the baby is gestating, it pees in its little amniotic sac. Amniotic fluid is its pee. So it absolutely has a smell to it. You need to clear out the things that you never intended to have as part of your journey. This has to be a conscious decision. The types of mindsets, the type of friendships, circumstance, connections, and things like that are pulling you back. Remember, the 5 people who you hang around with the most end up contributing to the way you see life and the way you function through your life. So if you have people that you hang around with, because I mean, you've known them for so long and really they're the only friends you know, and they all are not driven, they have no goals in life, they're very much satisfied with just the basic 9 to 5. which there's nothing wrong with that. But if that's not part of your destined path, they're not going to understand that. They're not. And it will make you feel ashamed that they don't understand that. Like I have my very small group of friends. Yeah, I do. I have a very small group of friends who genuinely love me and I genuinely love them. And oftentimes they will see how much I actually work behind the scenes. And they're like, you need a break. I know I do. And they tell me like, I mean, you should just take time off. You should just take a break and this and that. I don't work for someone. I work for myself. And if I don't have that drive, my business will not thrive. No drive, no thrive. No risk, no Rari. I heard someone say that. I don't remember who she is, but apparently her brother said to her, no risk, no Rari. I mean, I'm not into Raris, Ferraris, but yeah, no, seriously. You're afraid to take that risk. You will forever be locked in the same place, stagnant, feeling uncertain, unbalanced, uncomfortable, and unwelcome in your own life. So I have an awareness that people who love me will continue to tell me that I need to rest, that I need to this and that. It's out of love. It's out of love. They don't want me to fail. They love me. They don't want me to burn out. But here's the thing, just like the spinning top, the faster it goes, the more stable it is. And the more you slow it down, the more it will wobble and eventually falter and fail. I function in the way I was designed. And how was I designed? Like a covert little motherfucking Capricorn. I'm a Capricorn moon. I have a drive like you wouldn't believe, driven in ways that people, while you sleep, I'm creating other streams of income. While you take that break, I'm pushing forward and expanding the boundaries of the limitations that are supposed to apply to me, but I refuse to allow. While you tend to your wounds, I bandage that bitch up. And then I keep right on going. Why? Because it's a competition? No, it's because that's the way I was designed to function. That's why I'm capable of achieving things that the average person probably never will. Why? Well, because they won't push themselves to do it. No one has to tell me it's time to go live. No one has to tell me that I need to do this or do that or coordinate or reach out or any of those things. Those are all things that just drive me. It drives me. And I don't feel the drive to become rich. I feel this undeniable drive to finish what my soul has set me out to finish in the next few days, the next few weeks, the next few months, knowing that as I finish something, another thing will be added to that list. It's a perpetual list of greatness. The ways in which you grow is determined by you. And if you are focused on living a comfortable life, you will never grow. You won't. The things that I accomplish will be able to provide my family with comfort, but my drive will never diminish. And maybe that's the breakthrough you're supposed to have right now. That realization that this insatiable urge to do X, Y, and Z is really your soul telling you, hey, the path is now laid before you. Get in the car and drive. Drive, and it takes you to where you can pick up the bags. What bags? I don't know, whatever the hell you want in your bag. I don't know. I tell my soul, put whatever I need in the bag. Just make sure whatever I'm driving has space for my entire family. I like to be with them always. So whatever I achieve, make sure there's room for my whole family to be able to join me and witness whatever it is my soul set me out to do. And if it requires me being even more publicly visible in the way that my soul has shown me I will be, okay. If it can be done in a way where I don't have to be publicly visible, I mean, yes, that too. That too. That too. I would love that as well. But now it's this thing of really just letting soul lead me into the spaces that I've always belonged and could never give myself the permission to accept. You don't have to have a solidified idea of how great you are for you to be great. You were just born that way. And you've spent your entire life trying to get back to the point where you can allow yourself to see the reality of you. So in this period, you guys, there's a lot of caca stuff. We just call them cacas. Demons are cacas. They are, though. Ew, they stink. They do. If you ever just suddenly smell poop, like a stinky poop smell, like rotten, hot garbage, caca type smell, that's demons. They're in your proximity. It's registering in your nostrils. That's the best time for you to flex a little bit, to let a motherfucker know. You want some? I got some. To be navigating your life with fear serving in the way it's intended, that's powerful. Fear was never designed to disable you. That was never the design of fear. Fear was designed to bring your attention to the thing that you need to neutralize first. Whatever it is you need to prioritize, your fear will bring your attention to that. But instead, it's become a thing that's caused people to become disabled in their own power. That's crazy. That's crazy that we've allowed that. So the things that are happening as of late, I'll be live tomorrow to do the protection tea party. I know quite a few people have been messaging and asking when they'll be able to, get readings and certain types of services. This tomorrow, Saturday, 3:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I'll be live on TikTok. Yes, I'll be live on TikTok doing expedites and scans and etheric medicine stuff. So if you're interested on all platforms except for TikTok, simply go to the link in the comments or click on the QR code on the screen. For those on TikTok, simply go to the link in my bio, click on the protection tea party, and that will take you wherever you need to be in order to see what I have available for tomorrow. I will see you guys again very, very soon. And don't let the dark distortions that are like whispering in your ear convince you that you need to start drama. I know a lot of people are experiencing that. They are experiencing this heightened, how would I put it? This heightened desire to just really start shit with people. Don't give into it. Don't do it. Just be like, that's funny. Oh, that's interesting. And walk away. Okay. So if you're feeling like you could use a little pick me up in regards to energy and, defensive type activations, tomorrow is the best time to join me during expedites. I'll have quite a few different things available. So I will see you guys again very soon.